6 are the most ridiculous moments in football history. And first, the time Dries Mertens did one of the most ridiculous celebrations I've ever seen. Wait, did bro just mark his territory? That's crazy. But it's still not as crazy as number 19, where one player killed his own teammate.
Ronaldo.
Oh my god. Dude really took it all, just like me. But that still doesn't come close to number 18, when one player had the whole stadium in shock. See, back in 2022, Antony was still teamed up with Ajax, and he was cooking. But against Feyenoord, he wanted to do something special.
Laatste Malaysia en Antony gaat daar neer. Daar die zegt tegen Antony, ga liggen.
Dude really pulled out all the stops and got his ass sent off. But at number 17, a player had to live through his worst nightmare ever. See, against Toulouse, Darwin Núñez got the chance of a lifetime and made a huge mistake.
It's Darwin Núñez for Liverpool.
I'm not gonna lie, the play was beautiful. But lucky for Núñez though, because the ball bounced off the post and his teammate managed to score. But you could tell bro was hurting. I mean, he couldn't even celebrate the goal. But at least no one was eating, because at number 16, one player's most ridiculous play happened because he ate bird poop? There ain't no way that tasted good or felt good. Man's really ate bird poop, unless you ask him.
A bird did not poo in your mouth.
No.
I found this out this week.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Honestly, I was like, of course it did. Everybody knows it did. We've all seen it a million times. It definitely happened. I went through it frame by frame, and that someone behind you off camera spits, and it goes over your shoulder, and at the exact moment you sort of have your own spit in your mouth, comes up, and it just all times perfectly.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Either someone spit in your mouth or you ate bird poop. Either way, it's still not as ridiculous as number 15, because Wayne Rooney made one of the most ridiculous assists in football history.
Look who's running hard after defensively. Wayne Rooney, the net is empty. Big collision by the captain. That is unbelievable effort. Rooney putting one up. Acosta.
Jeez. Dude was an animal. And so is Adama Traoré. Because for number 14, he made one of the most ridiculous decisions ever. See, after recovering from a shoulder injury, Adama and his doctors had to come up with an idea that would stop defenders from pulling his arms and re-injuring his shoulder. That's when one freaky-ass doctor got the idea to put oil on Adama's arms.
I was recovering from my shoulder, so the way to stop me was grabbing my hands. So the doctor had a great idea to push these things in my hand, and it was pretty fun when the defenders tried to grab my hands and it was asleep.
Yeah, the same oil I used to... sorry, wrong platform. But at number 13, one reporter gets clowned by a team.
Is it a serious problem, Martin? It's tackling something that is going to start to go out of the game
Well,
now.
we hope not.
Oh! Well, that was I think that was on the Leeds players.
Bro really gave a thumbs up like he wasn't crying inside. Just like number 12 is. Because in the middle of a game, the field got completely flooded.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Damn, those guys got soaked. But at number 11, one player changes the whole game. See, in the quarterfinals of the 2022 World Cup, the Netherlands faced off in a crazy game against Argentina. This game really had it all, because in the 34th minute, Argentina took the lead.
Wriggling away from Ake and fiddling through a beautiful pass.
And after that, things really started to slow down, with neither of the teams actually getting a chance, until in the 70th minute, when Argentina got a penalty.
Lionel Messi reaches out for more history.
Yeah, we all thought Argentina had this in the bag, but the Dutch had a secret weapon, and after he was subbed on, everything changed. Because in the 83rd minute, he did this.
Berghaus, Weghorst!
Yeah, bro literally lit the Netherlands on fire. And when the refs had 11 extra minutes, Weghorst knew this was his time. So when the Dutch prepared for their final moment of the game, he did something no one could imagine.
Koopmeiners, smart!
That was ridiculous! Eventually, though, the Dutch lost on penalties, and Messi was gonna let them hear all of it.
Mira, bobo. ¿Qué mira, bobo? Anda para allá, bobo.
I don't care if you scored 2 goals in a World Cup or not, but being called a donkey and dumb? That's wild, man. But alright, the moments so far have been ridiculous, don't get me wrong on that. But since we've reached the top 10, we gotta bump this up to a whole new level. I'm talking players shitting themselves, players fighting with the police. Hell, one player was even stronger than a rocket? But more on that later. Because at number 10, a player went from superstar to super criminal. See, Quincy Promes isn't your average footballer. Bro played 50 games for the Netherlands, played for Sevilla and Ajax. Dude was even close to joining Liverpool at one point, but he was willing to risk it all just to make bank. See, while playing for Ajax, Promes together with some friends and family were out partying, when out of nowhere, screams could be heard echoing. And what everyone thought was a hit on Promes was actually the other way around. Because after a beef between Quincy and his cousin, he decided to pull out a knife and stab his cousin. Fortunately, though, the cousin survived, but Quincy was sentenced to 18 months in prison. But that was the least of his problems. See, to avoid going to jail, Promes had signed a deal with Spartak Moscow and had already packed his bags. And because Russia doesn't have an extradition treaty with the Netherlands, he can keep on playing. But that wasn't the only issue Promes had, because it turns out that dude was not only turning into a gangster, he was also turning into a kingpin. It turns out this dude smuggled over 1,300 kilos of drugs, and I'm telling you, bro was making a bag, because according to the police, it was valued at $65 million. Man. Should I switch careers?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now for number 9. What if I told you that one player stanked the place up so bad, it had his coach clowning him? Let me explain. See, former Tottenham player Dier used to be coached by Jose Mourinho. And let's just say this, if you start f***ing around, you will find out. And that's exactly what Dier did. Because in a do-or-die cup game, Dier ran off the field without talking to anyone, leaving Spurs with one man short, and that was a big mistake. Mans really put his teammate in a really bad position, which eventually made Mourinho snap.
Dier has raced off the pitch to use the facilities.
Dude really ran off the field, leaving his teammate with one man down, all because he was leaking from his ass?
The problem is that was not a pee.
Not only did bro let his teammates down, he also got clowned by his own manager, which kind of reminds me of number 8, where one player missed back-to-back penalties and got his ass clowned by his own teammate. During a League One game between PSG and Montpellier, Sergio Ramos won his teammate penalty in the 7th minute. This was supposed to give PSG a great start to the game, but instead was the start of their superstar's worst game ever.
Mbappe steps up.
Now, I was hoping that Mbappe would have learned his lesson after the first penalty, but boy, I was wrong.
And it's nearly saved again.
Not only did bro miss 2 penalties and an open goal, he eventually had to go off injured as well. But at number 7, one of Ronaldo's biggest fans created the most viral moment in 2023. This is one of the biggest streamers in the world, and he also happens to be one of Ronaldo's biggest fans. I mean, this dude has done everything to meet him. Hell, dude even dry humped a statue of him. I mean, bro was going viral so often, Ronaldo had to know who he is, right?
And he said the same thing.
When Speed heard this, he took the first flight to Portugal to watch Ronaldo live. And let's just say, dreams do come true.
Huh? You told him?
That right there would eventually change Speed's life forever. Because not only he got to meet his biggest idol, bro posted the pic on IG and got over 14 million likes. And not only that, bro would eventually become friends with Ronaldo's son.
What the heck? Bro, you grew, bro.
But Speed should count himself lucky, because at number 6, one player lost his cool and started kicking a kid. It was just a normal League Cup game in England between Chelsea and Swaznia, where Swaznia somehow was destroying Chelsea. I mean, just look at the score. Swaznia up by 2 with just 13 minutes remaining, and Chelsea had no room for error, especially not their best player, Eden Hazard.
Wow. That's inexcusable.
The ref gave Hazard a red card, and I was just like the rest of the people in the stadium, stunned. Even Hazard himself couldn't believe it. So with a man down, there was no chance for Chelsea, and they lost the game. But fast forward 11 years to 2024, and they look like boys.
I'm okay. How's your ribs?
Yeah, a little silver soul, but better.
You can tell the truth now. I didn't touch you, huh?
A little bit.
Nah, I'm joking.
But at number 5, it's some of the most ridiculous misses I've ever seen.
Oh, goodness me, that's going to be an absolute...
Great chance. Torres. Oh, what a miss!
인데요. 골키퍼 다리 사이 빠졌군요. 문은 열려 있습니다. 문은 열려 있는데요. 여기서 왼발 슈팅.
You can't blame anyone else but yourself for those. But at number 4, a player blames his most ridiculous moment on the team chef?
You'd be far happier seeing Waddle as he did when I think he should have had a penalty.
Yeah, this dude literally did what you're thinking. He pooped himself and wiped his ass on the grass. And the craziest part about this is that he's not even hiding it.
And you can see me on the floor, like doing like a dog do.
All right, enough of this. At number 3, one team thinks they're above the law. See, football in South America isn't like what we see in Europe, because even though you got rules there as well, some just don't give a flying f***. And in 2013, that became clear after one team wanted to have a word with the refs. In what world do you kick a police officer who's aiming a shotgun at you? Not gonna lie, if someone was aiming a shotgun at me, I'm running for life. Just like Ronaldo did at number 2. Cause this dude literally got his own airport. But that's not the ridiculous part. See, in Ronaldo's hometown Madeira, he was set to be crowned by the city, but instead he was clowned by the whole world. In 2018, the mayor of Madeira wanted to show his appreciation for everything Ronaldo had done for the city. So he was set to get an airport named after him. And not only that, he was supposed to get his own statue. And when Ronaldo was finally going to get his big moment, that's when he couldn't even hold it. Who? Is that supposed to be Ronaldo?
I was more special. I was a special kid.
I mean, not even Ronaldo could hold it in. And not only did the statue look like ass, it broke the damn internet. So much so that Ronaldo forced the mayor to get it fixed. Now, even though the statue was ridiculous, at number 1, it's nothing but serious. Cause in 2013, Watford and Leicester had to play one last game of the season. One game that would alter the team's future. So coming into it, you know they were all hyped. And it showed, cause after 97 minutes, the scores were all tied. But that's when everything changed. Miss a penalty in the 97th minute. Your opponent hits you on the counter, scores the goal, and wins the game. Nobody in the entire stadium could see that coming. This was so wild, even Troy Deeney couldn't believe it.
Because I see Casper there, I see Vidra's coming, and Vidra's on for a hat-trick, so I know he's not leaving it. So I went, sorry for the viewers. Leave it.
But the craziest part of it all is that Troy Deeney isn't the only one who's made wild plays like this. Cause one team scored 27 goals in a game. Another got a red card in 1 second. Someone's at the door? I gotta bounce. Make sure you click the video. Click it!